Welcome back to More to the Story. I'm Lucas Kitchen, and this is episode 5 in our special podcast series called The History of the Holy Land, From Abraham to Hamas. Now, if you'd like to get a copy of previous episodes, whether in video or audio versions, you can do that, and you can also see transcripts by going to freegrace.in. We have the whole series there. This episode is entitled A People Without a Place. In the last episode, we talked about the Jewish-Roman War, which took place around 70 AD. That war was followed by a mass displacement known as the Jewish Diaspora. So in this episode, when you hear the word diaspora, you can think dispersion. It's Jews being dispersed throughout the world, away from their homeland. This diaspora spanned centuries and continents, and is a tale of dispersion, adaptation, and endurance, scattered across the globe, from Europe to the Middle East and beyond. Jews would come to encounter challenges unknown as they sought to maintain their identity and traditions in foreign lands. This episode explores the multifaceted journey of Jewish communities outside of the Holy Land.
Around 60 years after the temple had been destroyed by the Romans in 70 AD, revolt was once again on the minds of the Jews in Judea.
By 132 AD, things were no good for those who remained in Jerusalem after the First Jewish-Roman War. They faced religious persecution and heavy taxation. The Romans decided to construct a new city, Aelia Capitolina, over Jerusalem and to build a temple to Jupiter on the ruins of the Second Jewish Temple. This simply would not stand.
A man named Simon Bar Kokhba, a charismatic figure regarded by his followers as the Messiah, grew a sizable following and embarked on a fierce rebellion, establishing a brief period of Jewish self-governance.
In the early stages of the revolt, the Jews engaged in successful guerrilla warfare tactics, gaining some autonomy. However, Emperor Hadrian responded decisively, dispatching General Julius Severus and a substantial Roman force to quell the uprising. After a series of brutal confrontations and heavy losses on both sides, the revolt was harshly suppressed by 136 AD.
The consequences of the rebellion were severe and far-reaching for the Jewish community. Hadrian took steps to erase Jewish ties to the region, renaming Judea as Syria Palestina. He also prohibited Jews from living in Jerusalem. A huge number of Jews were killed, and many survivors were either sold into slavery or fled.
As a result, many Jews sought refuge and established communities in different parts of the Roman Empire and beyond, such as in Babylon, present-day Iraq, Egypt, and other parts of the Middle East, as well as Europe and North Africa.
As Jewish communities spread to different parts of the world, two distinct groups began to take shape: the Ashkenazi and Sephardic Jews. Ashkenazi Jews settled primarily in Eastern Europe and Germany and developed their unique customs and traditions. Sephardic Jews settled in areas like Spain, North Africa, and the Middle East, and they too developed their own distinct culture.
During the early centuries and the Middle Ages, Jewish communities endured a litany of hardships such as blood libels, pogroms, false accusations, mass expulsions, inquisitions, forced conversions, and ghettos. This happened across Europe and the Middle East.
An early example comes from no other than the founder of the Islamic faith. The Banu Qurayza were a displaced Jewish group living in 7th century Medina during the time of the Islamic founder Muhammad. They had an agreement of mutual defense with Muhammad when an attack from an opposing Arab army occurred.
The Banu Qurayza were accused of siding with the enemy during this attack. Following the siege, these Jews surrendered to Muhammad, who ordered the execution of the adult Jewish men, while the women and children were enslaved, becoming captives. The slaves and other property were seized and distributed among Muhammad's followers. Muhammad's willingness to enact violence against Jews opened the option to generations of followers who would come after him.
For many years, Jews and Christians were generally allowed to live peacefully in Muslim-controlled lands, practicing their religions under a system of protected status. However, there were notable exceptions. In 1066, under Muslim rule in the Kingdom of Granada in the Iberian Peninsula, there was a Jewish vizier, Joseph ibn Nagrela. He had risen to prominence in the court of the Berber king, Bardis al-Muzaffar. Resentment brewed among the local Muslim population, fueled by anti-Jewish sentiments propagated by some local Islamic preachers. The tensions culminated in a violent outbreak on December 30th, 1066, when a mob attacked the Jewish quarter, resulting in the massacre of an estimated 4,000 Jews, including Joseph ibn Nagrela, who was crucified.
In 1165, Yemen's Muslim community was leaning toward ever stricter interpretations of Islamic teachings. Local rulers forced Jews to convert to Islam under threat of expulsion or death. A similar incident would happen again in the same region around 500 years later.
That same century, terror struck the dispersed Jewish communities in another part of the world. Originating from the religious teachings of Ibn Tumart, the Almohads, in North Africa and parts of Spain sought to purify Islamic practices and believed that the existence of non-Muslim communities within their territories was incompatible with their religious ideals.
When the Almohads rose to power in the mid-12th century, replacing the more tolerant Almoravid dynasty, they imposed stringent regulations and harsh conditions on the non-Muslims living in Islamic states. Jews, along with Christians, were faced with the choice of conversion to Islam, exile, or death.
One of the most notable individuals affected by the Almohad persecution was Maimonides, a prominent Jewish philosopher and scholar. Born in Cordoba, Maimonides and his family were forced to flee the city to escape persecution, eventually settling in Egypt.
I hope you'll stay tuned to the history of the Holy Land from Abraham to Hamas while we take this short break. We'll be right back after this.
Embark on a stellar journey with Missionary to Mars by Lucas Kitchen, where danger, faith, and adventure collide. Meet Eustace Grimes, a spirited cyber nerd, plunged into a perilous universe haunted by the malevolent Admiral Strafe, where a whisper of rebellion sparks a solar system-wide hunt. With smugglers, secrets, and an unstoppable message of hope in his arsenal, Eustace becomes an unexpected hero in a tale where every orbit conceals danger and every star blazes with stories of undying faith, love, and a mission beyond the physical universe. With a dazzling 4.9-star rating on Amazon, this Christian sci-fi novel invites you on a celestial adventure where humor, poignant themes, and boundless faith collide into a heartwarming cosmic saga. Secure your copy today on freegrace.in, amazon.com, or wherever books find their readers, and let the extraordinary adventure unfold.
Welcome back. We were exploring the trouble faced by Jews in the diaspora, especially in the Middle East up until this point. Unfortunately, Europe as well showed the Jews plenty of persecution. So, let's get back to the story.
The next century would see Jews the victims of blood libel accusations like the one in 1290 in Oxford, falsely claiming that Jews used Christian children's blood for religious rituals, leading to violence and persecution.
European Jews were tortured with pogroms, organized and often violent attacks against Jewish communities, resulting in death, destruction, and suffering. These attacks were fueled by anti-Semitic sentiments and could be triggered by various factors, such as false accusations or economic jealousies.
One notorious example is the 1391 pogroms in Spain. Mobs rampaged through Jewish neighborhoods, leading to the forced conversion or death of many Jews. 100 years later in the same country, the rulers issued a decree that forced Jewish people to leave the country or convert to Christianity. This expulsion from Spain marked the end of a long and influential Jewish presence there.
In Trent, Italy, the Trent Affair of 1475 would leave its mark. A false accusation of ritual murder was made against the Jewish community of Trent, alleging the disappearance of a Christian child named Simon. Under pressure from local authorities, and with the backdrop of anti-Semitism, Jewish children were forcibly baptized against their will.
In 1497 in Portugal, King Manuel I issued a royal edict that presented Portuguese Jews with a stark choice. They could either convert to Christianity or face expulsion from the country. This mass forced baptism campaign resulted in a significant population of new Christians, or conversos, who were outwardly Christian but secretly maintained their Jewish faith and traditions.
Following these conversions, the new Christians faced suspicion and persecution by the Portuguese Inquisition, which was determined to uncover those who continued to practice Judaism in secret. Many converted Jews and their descendants endured intense scrutiny, discrimination, and torture at the hands of the Inquisition.
Many Jews were confined to ghettos, such as the Venice ghetto established in 1516, where they lived in overcrowded and restrictive conditions.
Thousands of Jews were killed in the Khmelnytsky uprising from 1648 to 1654 in Eastern Europe.
Hundreds of Jews were massacred. In 1768 in Balta, a town in what is now Ukraine.
thousands of Jews were killed in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, 1768 to 1772.
Throughout history, Jewish communities in the diaspora have endured extensive persecution. However, these years, while often punctuated by brutality, saw moments of immense hope and brilliance.
The Jews who were dispersed throughout the world saw a 1600-year period of Jewish achievement juxtaposed with their suffering.
During the first millennium of the diaspora, Jews exhibited tremendous resilience, thriving in various regions around the world. In Babylonia, Jewish scholars such as the Geonim led prominent academies, contributing to Jewish law and thought. In Spain, under Muslim rule, Jewish philosophers, poets, and scientists like Maimonides and Samuel Hanagid flourished, contributing richly to the era's intellectual life.
Meanwhile, in North Africa and parts of Europe, Jews excelled in trades and commerce, establishing critical trade routes and commercial partnerships. Jewish communities in these regions became centers of learning and cultural exchange, allowing for a rich intermingling of Jewish traditions with local cultures and languages, such as the creation of Yiddish in Central and Eastern Europe.
Through adaptability and intellectual contributions, Jewish communities navigated societal shifts and various challenges, often playing significant roles in the broader societies in which they lived, thus enhancing the global tapestry of art, science, and commerce.
Their contributions are even more obvious in the latter half of the nearly 2 millennia. A myriad of discoveries, inventions, and innovations during these centuries.
The cures and seminal treatments for the world's most formidable diseases, such as diphtheria, syphilis, cholera, polio, and typhus, as well as groundbreaking advancements in the management of diabetes and cancer, were discovered or significantly developed by Jewish scientists living in the diaspora.
Their invaluable contributions have profoundly bettered global health, saving millions of lives and improving the quality of life for countless others, thus making the world a markedly better place.
The contributions of diaspora Jews to global innovation and technology are both vast and varied. Remarkable inventions such as blue jeans, Barbie dolls, lipstick, the refrigerator, and disposable diapers emanated from the brilliance of Jewish minds.
Additionally, essentials of modern technology like the remote control, magnetic card readers, and razor blades, as well as pivotal advancements in communication and e-commerce, such as voicemail and the online shopping cart, were brought to life by Jewish inventors.
Even the ubiquitous search engine, Google, was a creation of Jewish entrepreneurs. The creation by Jews of beloved film studios such as Paramount and Universal, iconic superheroes like Superman and Spider-Man, all creative inventions of diaspora Jews, have profoundly impacted entertainment.
Even beloved food items like the bagel and classic board games like chess and Scrabble were given to the world by Jews in the diaspora.
The Jewish diaspora has been a tumultuous journey marred by episodes of persecution, displacement, and profound hardships. Jews have faced innumerable challenges, from expulsions and forced conversions to pogroms and massacres, underscoring the harrowing ordeal they have had to navigate through centuries and across continents. Yet, despite these immense adversities, the diaspora has also been a canvas of resilience and remarkable contributions. The achievements produced by Jewish innovators act as reminders of how Jews living in the diaspora, the descendants of those who once inhabited the Holy Land, have thrived and enriched the places where they have dwelled for centuries.
Jewish communities dispersed globally have been fountains of incredible innovations, enriching the realms of science, technology, medicine, arts, and beyond. Their invaluable contributions have not only been rays of hope amidst the darkness, but have also played a significant role in shaping the modern world, making it a better, more advanced, and more compassionate place.
And yet, the darkest chapter of Jewish persecution was still to come. These historical experiences set the stage for the next phase, the Holocaust, and the rise of Zionism between 1800 and 1948.
Well, thank you so much for listening to this episode of More to the Story in our special podcast series, The History of the Holy Land from Abraham to Hamas. This series is created by me, Lucas Kitchen, and produced by Free Grace International. For previous episodes, videos, audio, and other podcasts, including transcripts, you can go to freegrace.in. While you're there, you can subscribe to get daily, weekly, or even just occasional updates through email. One final note, I wonder if you'd be interested in becoming a financial supporter of our ministry, Free Grace International, so that we can continue to do more shows like this one and the many others that we do. You can find us at freegrace.in or reach out directly, info@freegrace.in. Thank you so much, and I look forward to being back with you sometime soon.